Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Welcome, ladies, to our first Thieves Thursday class. I'm excited that y'all got to join us this evening. Of course, if y'all don't all know me already, my name is Janessa, and I have been with Young Living since June of 2020, so going on 2 years. Hopefully what you get out of this class is learning a little bit more, hopefully a lot more, about the Thieves oil in general, the blend, the benefits of it, and ultimately for tonight's class, we're going to be talking mainly about how it's going to help us with immune support. All right. Okay. So back there we go. All right. So first and foremost, we're just going to jump straight into it, is the Thieves essential oil. So it's made up of clove, lemon, cinnamon bark, eucalyptus radiata, and rosemary. It's obviously, like I keep saying, it's known for its immune support, cleansing properties as well. When applied topically, when inhaled, as well as taking internally. It's very refreshing when you do happen to inhale it. So if you have not gotten a chance to experience Thieves essential oil, I highly, highly recommend you getting a bottle. So this also comes as a vitality oil. Now, what that means is we have a specified line in Young Living that we are able, with having FDA compliance, we have to be compliant. We are cleared to say that those are safe for internal use. And we'll go into kind of all the different uses for Thieves essential oil blend here in a little bit. But first, there is actually a great deal of history on Thieves. And so it is a little bit long, so bear with me, but it is super, super interesting. First of all, I just want y'all to take note of this photo. As you can see, it's kind of dated. It's talking about the plague back in 1665. So it's based on the legend of the 4 thieves in Marseille, France, dating from the time of the outbreak of the bubonic plague. So century after century, from the 1300s to the 1700s, outbreaks claimed up to half of the population of Europe, which is just absolutely crazy. An especially nasty outbreak between 1593 and 1608. About that time, an aromatic legend developed around a brew called Marseille's vinegar, or also known as 4 thieves vinegar. And then, as history has it, the group allegedly confessed that they used it with protection against the plague while they robbed, it kind of gets a little graphic, y'all, bear with me, while they robbed the bodies of the dead. The term grave robbers, pretty sure this is where it originated from. There are a variety of recipes out there of what the Thieves blend may have been. But typically they do include rosemary, dried sage, flowers, fresh rue, camphor, garlic cloves, and of course vinegar, which were to be steeped for 7 or 8 days. Now, D. Gary Young, who is the founder of Young Living, is actually kind of known as the most responsible of the story, kind of reaching its legendary status known for that it has today. He created the actual Thieves blend in 1994, which is coincidentally when Young Living Essential Oils Company was established, and it's known for its immune support. And as a result of his study, and that was like a result of the study that he did. So he had stated, I must tell you that I have read 17 different versions of the Thieves story, which is just like absolutely crazy that people have had that many different versions of the story. Some claim that there were 4 thieves, and some claim that there were as many as 40. Most of the legends took place in the 15th century, but some did put the date in the 18th century. The formulas varied from one story to the next, but through his research, he was led to 4 key botanicals that were mentioned again and again, which were clove, cinnamon, rosemary, and lemon. So 4 of the same ingredients that make up the thieves' oil blend today. All right, so then there's an insert of that. So the vinegar was noted in a number of famous medical books published later on, including the Pharmacologia. I'm not good with words, y'all. Forgive me. From 1825. So this page is actually just a part of that original book from almost 200 years ago. So as the legend goes, these thieves covered themselves in herbs and essential oils before robbing the bodies of the dead. It was a mix of spicers, perfumes, and embalmers that had carried this recipe. Embalmers actually carried this recipe through their families for generations, which, if y'all are not aware, I'm actually a licensed embalmer. I wish I would have known about this before. I really, it would have been a great help in the prep room for sure. So all of that caught up with them. The magistrate had caught up with them, was going to behead them, but offered them amnesty if they explained how they used the thieves' mix. So they had to trade their secrets pretty much. So I thought that was just so interesting. And, you know, there is just such rich history around it. And it's even more amazing that this is like one of our staple blends that Gary Young worked so hard to get something that was just as close as possible to what they actually used hundreds of years ago. So if you are a new oiler, I know it can be very overwhelming in general. So if you're looking to really find a place to kind of start your oily journey, Thieves is probably honestly your best place to start, because oils ultimately are the gateway to natural health. So for many years, it's been seen and said that we are the alternative medicine, but in fact, we are actually the original medicine. And that's not me just stating an opinion. That's actually based fact on history. So I'm not claiming anything that is not true here. They're like fast food natural health. Apply and carry on. Like, it's really that simple. There's no like witch doctoring going on, no tincturing, fermenting, growing weird things in jars on your countertops. I mean, you could, but that's up to you, boo. I don't want to do that. All the hard work is done at Young Living's distilleries. Like, that's where it starts. And out in their fields, that their quality is absolutely 100% better than actually the USDA organic standards. I've done a side-by-side comparison. It's pretty insane. With Thieves, you can pretty much knock out so many of what you've got in your home. You can knock it out, especially with cleaning products, which we're going to be going through in later classes. So stay tuned for that. But for tonight, we're just going to stick with Thieves oil, as well as the different products that we have that are talking about immune support. So kind of just like a little bit of a cheat sheet. Just 1 second here. Okay. So there's 5 uses for the Thieves essential oil. So first of all, this is what that pretty little thing looks like right here. So this is just 5, y'all. This is just kind of like the top. So applying to the bottoms of your feet and your spine for immune support. So as we did mention, it does have clove. It does have cinnamon bark in it. So what we call those is hot oils. And so that means when it touches your skin directly, it does give the sensation of a burning feeling. So that's why we call them hot. So definitely I suggest diluting with a carrier oil, such as coconut oil or olive oil. Especially when you're putting on kids, that is something you do not want to do, is to make your kids suffer like that. Young Living also does have a V6 carrier oil if you're interested in getting that. Next one is taking the Thieves Vitality internally for the same reason, just for immune support. One really good recipe to do that in a veggie capsule is to do 10 drops of Thieves Vitality, 8 drops of oregano Vitality, and 2 drops of frankincense Vitality. Those are really helpful for support of the sinus. So y'all need to note that. Adding a drop of Thieves Vitality to your hot tea with honey. And the reason I say specifically with honey is because the honey, obviously, so oil, water with your tea do not mix. So having the honey in there helps to kind of like to get it kind of like to absorb it a little bit better, to get it to mix. However, I actually have, when I'm not just kind of feeling under the wellness line, I actually just do literally 1 drop in my coffee and then just try and spin it and mix it really, really well. And it works. Even though it's technically oil and water don't mix, that actually has worked out for me quite a few times, actually. So that's a good tip too, but just be very mindful. You have to mix, 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 mix. I have done it where I didn't mix, and so moving on, putting it in the diffuser as a favorite fall blend, even though, I mean, I am, y'all, I'm kind of partial to fall. I kind of like, am slightly obsessed with fall. It's such a beautiful, beautiful blend, because it's got the clove, it's got the cinnamon bark, and then the rosemary just kind of gives it a clean scent. So definitely you can put that in there to also cleanse your air as well. So a lot of pollen and everything has been going on lately, and we've been opening up the windows. So at night when we close them, obviously there's been pollen and all kinds of fun junk traveling inside our house. And so I just turn on some Thieves and I'm not having to worry about it. And then the last one is you can apply it to sore teeth, because clove has a numbing effect. And so anytime you have a little bit of a toothache, or a tooth just pain, or a little just in your teeth, that is helpful. All right. So we can go to the next one here. Once it decides. Okay. All right. So now we're going to talk about specifically the products. So Miss Christy is going to talk about the Thieves Roll-On. Go ahead, Christy.
Yes. So I'm not sure if you can see my screen or me with the screen, but you can hear me talk anyway. So this is the Thieves Roll-On, and I'm going to scroll this over. Okay, so I can actually be in my camera. There we go. And what's nice about the Roll-On is, one, it's already pre-diluted. So we talked about how Janessa mentioned that Thieves is a hot oil. So with this Roll-On, it already has the carrier oil in it, and it has the roller top on it. So it has like easy application. When you're applying it to the spine, the oil doesn't spill when you tip it upside down. I just really love these. Are quick and easy and convenient, but you can also always refill these. This is, like I said, this is the Thieves oil. It just has carrier oil with it. So you can pop it off and you can refill this roller, and you can tell by my lid that I've had this roller for quite some time. This is usually solid gold. The other trick that I liked, you saw that Janessa had the bottle of oil. You can take that. There's a little dropper suppressor on there. You can also press that to remove that. And you can add, now again, this is a straight oil, so it would wait till the Thieves oil was down maybe a third or even a fourth, and then put carrier oil in there. But you can get these little roller tops from Young Living. They're super nice, and you can put those on the top as well and create your own rollers. So that's one way to use the thieves oil. Now, I highly recommend, if you do use the roller or change this into a roller, this is your topical application only. So this is the one will have the carrier oil. This is the one you'll put on your spine or your feet. And then keep another one that's straight oil that you'll use for the diffuser, or you'll use to make, like, we're going to make a wellness roller later, because taking off that roller top on and off, you're going to probably end up spilling it. Plus you have the carrier oil already mixed in it. So keep them separate, do two different things on that. So you can do the straight oil from Young Living and a roller with carrier oil.
Yes, that is so great. I love the convenience of it. And along with the Thieves Roll-On, there are a few other rollers that Young Living actually does make, but our team kind of gravitates to the DIYs, and we're going to talk all about that in our later classes. But this is such a good way, especially for somebody who is not really DIY savvy, or just, you know, I want convenience. These rollers are the perfect route to go for that. So, all right. So the next Thieves products we have is toothpaste. So you're probably wondering, okay, we're talking about immune support. What does toothpaste have to deal with that? So if you know anything about dental health, you do know that that obviously is the gateway into our bodies, or one of the gateways. And so the cleaner we have our oral health, the better off that our health will be. Young Living Young Living Thieves line has 4 different types of toothpaste. So the one that I have, and this is just my personal favorite, is the Aroma Bright. And so the Aroma Bright helps with any sort of buildup. It supports strong and healthy looking teeth. And this toothpaste, with all of the rest of the toothpaste, have all natural plant-based ingredients, and it's very gentle on your teeth and the enamel. So I love, love, love Aroma Bright. Pro tip, I every single morning apply 1 drop of Orange Vitality onto the little pea size of toothpaste that I need, and it actually helps to make them even brighter. To go over real quick the other kinds of toothpaste that we have, because everybody has different dental needs. So the Dentronome Plus is actually the original Young Living Thieves infused toothpaste. It leaves a naturally fresh feeling for clean teeth, from clean teeth to fresh breath. Dentronome Ultra helps to promote healthy gums and protects against buildup. So if you have any issues with gums, that might be the right toothpaste for you. And then, of course, the whitening toothpaste it whitens teeth, fights plaque, supports healthy gums, and removes stains without damaging the enamel. So very, very clean, and they are fluoride free. No synthetics, no dyes, artificial flavors, no preservatives, none of that, just crap. Like, none of the crap. You don't want it. Christy, you had a comment.
Yes, you can see here on the actual toothpaste, there are the 3 with the lemon, and then that whitening does have the orange in there that Janessa was talking about. The other thing I will say about the toothpaste that has been a habit changer for me was, I used to wet my toothbrush, put my toothpaste on it, then wet my toothbrush again, thinking I need the water to make the suds in my mouth. But with the actual Thieves toothpaste and the natural properties of it, you want to wet the toothbrush, put your toothpaste on it, and then start brushing your teeth, because the more water you add to it once it's already on your toothbrush, you're actually already starting to break down the properties. And you want to make sure that it's all in your mouth, cleaning your teeth before it starts to break down. So that's one habit that I had to change when I switched toothpaste.
I will say after I switched to Thieves, because of the strength of the oils in the toothpaste, I can no longer use like the plastic toothpaste. I switched to like the bamboo because literally y'all, the bristles were falling out because the oils were eroding the plastic, eroding like whatever adhesive was keeping the bristles in there. But I was like, oh my gosh, I can't use plastic toothpaste or toothbrushes anymore because it's falling out. But it's like, it sounds like a bad thing, but it's like I had that in my mouth, but the oils were like getting rid of the like eating away at the bad stuff. So I now all of us use bamboo, like the actual wood toothbrushes. And I've not had any issues with any of the bristles falling out at all. So it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Okay. So the next thing we're gonna go, or actually Miss Christie is gonna go over one, I'm gonna go over the other. First is that Thieves mouthwash. First of all, it's free from alcohol, synthetic dyes, artificial flavors. But the really cool thing about our mouthwash compared to so many others is that it has colloidal silver, which is huge, huge, huge when it comes to boosting your immune system. So like I said before, when it comes to your oral health, like you want the absolute best because that's anything that goes in your mouth is going to go throughout all of your body. So having that colloidal silver in there just kind of helps give that main boost. And what I really think is cool is that when you typically look at your ingredients, typically the first ingredients that are listed typically are the ones that are the most abundant. So the first ingredient is water, but the second one is colloidal silver. So that means there's quite a bit of that good stuff in here. It does, like I said, it's got the Thieves blend in there also. It's got the clove, it's got the cinnamon. So it's gonna kind of give that little burning feeling. But I mean, if you're used to the alcohol-based ones and you switch over to this, like this, I feel like tastes 10 times better. I mean, of course, I'm not drinking it, but it's much, much better. And I just feel so much cleaner afterwards. And then Christy is going to talk about the dental floss.
Before we jump to the dental floss, I want to share a quick DIY with the mouthwash. So many of us know that the Young Living products are concentrated, so they can be stretched further, meaning we can use the product without diluting it or without weakening the product by stretching the product. So I have a Nixure Red bottle. You can use any bottle you want, that's glass. This one is 25 ounces. So any bottle that you have, like a wine bottle or anything like that, take your bottle, put the entire bottle of the mouthwash in here. And I like to have more of a minty flavor in my mouthwash. So I'll add 10 to 15 drops of peppermint, 10 to 15 drops of spearmint, fill the rest of it with distilled water, shake it, shake it, shake it. And then I just refill that mouthwash container and keep that on the shelf where my toothbrushes are. And I just use a cap full of that mouthwash. And it has a little bit more of a minty flavor. It doesn't have that burning flavor from the cinnamon and clove, and it doesn't weaken it at all by doing that. So again, it's 25 ounces is your bottle that you're going to use to mix it. It's a full bottle of the mouthwash, 10 to 15 drops, again, depending on how minty you like it, 10 to 15 drops of peppermint, 10 to 15 drops of spearmint, and then the rest is distilled water. And again, we use distilled water because there may be contaminants in your public water or your drinking water, or even fluoride. A lot of cities will be putting fluoride in the water, and we want to remove fluoride from our oral care. So that's a quick little DIY with the mouthwash, and we'll share some other DIYs, but I want to talk about floss. So the floss is actually the Thieves oil plus peppermint. It does not have a wax coating on it. It is a flat. So this is a flat floss. Some of us are regular or used to like a round floss or something that's a little bit softer. This is the traditional flat floss, and it is thieves oil with peppermint, and it works really good. Even my kids, it's not super spicy. Even my kids will allow me to floss their teeth with this.
Yeah, I really like that. And especially because of, I mean, you would think, okay, why do I need a specific, like a different floss than what I'm already using? Well, if you've got it with thieves in there and you're going between your teeth with it, then it's just, I mean, that's just like a given. It's gonna, be able to kind of kill off all of the bad germs there. There's a question: do the oral thieves products prevent tonsil stones? That I do not know. We cannot make any legal claims for that, but definitely, Vanessa, we can chat offline and see kind of what exactly we can kind of do to help support that. So that's about the oral care. So now we're gonna go on to, oh, I love this stuff, y'all. This is the Thieves Chest Rub. So first and foremost, if you've not ever smelt this particular product, first of all, you're automatically gonna be like, this smells like icy hot. So it does smell a lot like icy hot, I will admit. But what is so great about it is that it is clean. The difference between what this has and what Icy Hot has is the fact that Icy Hot has a lot of petroleum. This is all 100% plant-based. It's a plant-based alternative for your typical cough and congestion relief. It works to temporarily relieve any sort of irritations of the common cold, and it supports healthy breathing, all while suppressing that cough with a hands-free application and no sticky residue. So literally, y'all, that's another thing, because I use this on my son quite a bit, especially with all the stuff going on in the air. He's really kind of been suffering with that. And of course, he's in daycare. So he's been using this quite a bit. But what I love is that the application process is so easy. I'm not having to like squirt it out into my hand and then apply it to them. I can literally just squeeze and then it would start coming out. And then I just kind of just go on his chest and apply. Also, what I do is apply this to his back as well as the bottom of his feet, which is like what a lot of people I feel like do, is apply it to the bottoms of the feet and then cover them up with socks. That's just like an old wives' tale or something. But this is such a better solution. It is safe for ages 2 and up. My son is 3. It acts really, really quickly. And it also is like, it dries pretty quickly too, and it's not going to stain your clothing or leave a sticky residue. It's very, very, I've never had any issues with it. Like I said, I apply it to him quite a bit. Like I said, it's formulated without that petroleum, no parabens, phthalates, mineral oils, synthetic perfumes or dyes, artificial colors, preservatives, any sort of toxic ingredients is kicked out, not allowed. So yeah, that's all about the chest rub. So if you don't have this in your cabinet, you need to. Year round, you need to have this stuff in your cabinets. Okay, so then Miss Christy is going to talk about our lozenges, our cough drops, and our meds. You're on mute, Christy.
Of course. I only do these calls about 3 times a week. You'd think I'd get it by now, but I do not have a bag of the lozenges, but it looks just like this. And where's my camera?
It's there. It's just a little blur. There we go.
But it doesn't have, the lozenges don't have the menthol in them. So they're not as strong as the cough drops. And the one thing that I really do like about this, right on the package, just like anything else, full ingredient list, but it's free of sugars, dyes, artificial flavors, and preservatives. It's just thieves that's inside of here. So if you know how well the thieves oil works when you put it in honey and tea and it coats your throat, the cough drops are the same thing. You can see they're free of color, they're free of dyes, they're very natural. Even the plastic is so thin. It's so funny. And the lozenges are the same thing. They just don't have the menthol in it. So I would say if you're someone who struggles from like a dry throat from maybe allergies or anything like that, and postnasal drip, things like that, maybe you would be able to use the lozenges. And something where you have a hard cough, you would want to go to the cough drops. So that's the difference between the two of them. The menthol does make this a little bit spicier. I do see that this recommended for 5 and up. My kids have not used the cough drops or the lozenges at all. I tend to go more towards the lemon, honey, and a drop of thieves that way instead. But these are really, really good. If you don't have this and the chest rub, you need both of these. You need both of these in your medicine cabinet. This is where we're talking about the switching and ditching. These are products you already have in your home. You're gonna run out. Start making your list of how you're gonna take those products when they run out, and you're gonna buy better for you and your family. And then the other thing are the Thieves mints. Funny fact, this is my daughter who's 8. This is her favorite. This and Joy. Whenever she runs out, she's like, Mom, you have to place an order for me. And I'm like, really? You're gonna need your own account pretty soon, girl.
Oh,
So Thieves mints. She's such a diva. These are not hot. These are not spicy, even though they do have the Thieves oil in it. It's very mild. Same thing. They don't have any of the artificial flavors, dyes, anything like that. This is the size of the mint. So you can see, I don't know about the size of my fingernail, I guess you could say. But they're smooth and they do last quite a while. The mint is pretty big. I'm trying to think of like, and they're bigger than an Altoid. So if you can think about the size of that. And yeah, like I said, my daughter loves these. So that's an option for an everyday breath freshener.
yes, because some kids are picky and they're like, no, I don't want to brush my teeth today. And I'm like, okay, here's mint. There you go. Don't let your teachers think I don't take care of your breath. All right. So to end the night, we are going to go over a DIY immune roller. So I use this particular recipe in my roller. So the original are those first 3 ingredients. So it's the 10 drops of Thieves, 7 drops of lemon, and 7 drops of oregano. That's kind of the original recipe. And this is also, just so y'all know, it is for a 10 milliliter roller. Of course, if you have a 5 mil, you'll just reduce it halfway. And then so you'll put in the oils first, and then you will put in your carrier oil to top it. And then the reasons why I add those last 3 oils is because of, if you look up pine and geranium, especially on PubMed, you will find out why. And that's about as far as I can go into that. So do your research, people. Go to PubMed and look up the benefits of pine and geranium. And then also frankincense in general also is very immune boosting. And if you don't have frankincense and you happen to have a bag of frankincense resin, I actually literally ran out. Well, I say I ran out. I actually had my car broken into. They stole my purse that had my only bottle of Thieves. It was a brand new big 15 milliliter bottle and it was gone. And I needed to remake my son's, because I put this on my son every morning. And So I was like, I've got some frankincense resin, so I'll put a few of this in there. Hey, it worked. It serves the same purpose. Plus it's a cute little adornment of it. So Christy is going to demonstrate that real quick and show you how easy it is to make.
Yes, so there's the thieves oil. Here is my bottle. And then I already started doing it while Janessa was talking, and then I forgot, oh, whoops, they may not be able to see me. So I stopped. So you do want to put the 10 drops. If you have a funnel, you can use a funnel. Otherwise, you can eyeball it. And there's lemon. And we'll put lemon in there. Sometimes we're heavy-handed. It's really not that big of a deal. If you have a few drops here and there that are over. Oregano is the other one. So thieves, obviously, because of the health properties for protection. Sorry, can't count and talk at the same time. 6 and 7, and you can see how some of the oils are thicker and thinner than the others. Lemon is a very thin oil. That's why you use it in the wellness oil or roller. It helps to with the drainage that you're having. So there's that. And then the oregano is actually antibacterial and anti-microbial. I think that's what it is. Pine. We'll do 7 drops of pine.
I love the smell of pine. I love it.
And geranium. So we have our citrus, we have our woods, we have our floral, we have our spice. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. There is this is something that's not everybody knows. So on the top of your bottle, there you can see that there's a hole. That hole is actually the air hole. The tiny little pin drop next to it is where the oil comes out. So if your oils don't come out right away, I'll show you with the frankincense, you spin it. Don't shake it. You just spin it until the oil comes out. And then top it with carrier oil. I like to use the V6 oil from Young Living. You can use a jojoba oil, you can use coconut oil, but I like to use the V6, which is a combination of 6 carrier oils in one that Young Living makes. And I just top that off without spilling and making a big old mess. And I like the dropper. Janessa, can you look at everybody's on, and I will give away this roller to one of the people who are on tonight.
All right. So I'm gonna.
This is a dropper for the roller top.
Hold on.
And you push that down, and then you have your lid.
And if
And
at
then you
any
just
point you'll have any questions, put those in the chat. I'm gonna write down everybody's name and I'm gonna do a drawing.
okay. So you do want to just give it a, not shake it, because you don't want to cause bubbles. I don't know if you can even see that, but there is some bubbles in there. You don't necessarily want to cause bubbles in there, but you do want to mix the oils. There won't be any separation now when you put them in there because you used oils with oils. If you were to do anything like a room spray, there will be separation because you're using water. So now that you've just tossed it back and forth, it's nice and mixed, it's ready to go. This is something, again, that you can add behind the ears, on the spine, on the bottoms of the feet. It's a really great wellness roller to use at night before you go to bed. I don't know if you are familiar or not, but your body actually resets every single night. And that's one of the reasons why sleep is so important for us. Geranium. It is very specific. Geranium is a really good oil right now for the sickness that is happening. And I don't mean to speak in code, but we are live on Facebook, so I cannot treat, diagnose, or recommend things specifically for situations, but Janessa did point out, go to PubMed and look up geranium with the current situation of sickness that's going around, and you will be able to read how geranium and pine work specifically for the respiratory system.
Yes.
But yes, you can use this whenever you want, but I like to use this at night to help the immune system reset and give it a little bit of an extra boost while we sleep. Does anybody
Alright.
else have any questions? Yes, give
We have
away.
a winner. Vanessa.
All right, Vanessa, I will get you your ruler.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. All right, guys. Do we have any other questions? If not, if whoever invited you to the call, whether it was me or Christy, or if it was a friend that is on this call or is not on this call, please reach out to us if you have any questions after this. If you don't, necessarily feel comfortable talking about it here on camera, it's totally fine. But yeah, I'm so happy that y'all were able to jump on with us, talk about Thieves Thursday. Next week, we will be talking about thieves and how it can be beneficial for skincare. We had one other question. Correct. So we have a separate line of oils. So literally for example, for thieves, this one we have labeled with the color is brown. The Vitality oils all have a white label. And that means that we are stating that these are safe for consumption. We had to come out with that line because we do have to remain FDA compliant. And so even though it is technically speaking the same exact oil that is in here that is in a Thieves Vitality, we do have to have them labeled separately for FDA compliance. So take that how you want. But yes, so for example, there are certain oils like tea tree. You're never going to see a bottle of tea tree Vitality because that's actually highly, highly toxic to ingest internally. You can apply it externally, but not internally. So there are certain oils. So for me, if I ever think, can I consume that oil? I look up to see if there is a matching Vitality. If there's not, I'm probably not going to be consuming that. So yeah, hopefully that answers that question. All right. And
also, before we get off, Janessa, we do want to mention that today not only is our first Thieves Thursday class, but you can also check off one of your bingo squares.
yes.
So if you do not have your bingo card for our spring bingo that we're doing all for the month of March, please message Janessa or I so that we can make sure that you get your bingo card. Anyone who gets a traditional bingo wins a free product from us. It could be a DIY, it could be an oil, whatever it may be. And then there will be only one grand prize winner. So you have to be the very first person to get blackout. And then you get this Thieves Spring bundle that Janessa and I have put together. Do you want to go over that real quick, Janessa?
Yes. I can remember which ones it are. I can't even talk. So it is, I'm going to try and remember, it is 8 different products, y'all, like, holy cow. So first and foremost, Thieves essential oil. Got the Aroma Bright toothpaste. You also have the hand soap. You'll also get a bottle of the Thieves household cleaner, which y'all, there's so many things you can do with that cleaner. We're devoting an entire class to that. It is just wild how many things you can just like totally just ditch and switch to the Thieves household cleaner. It's insane. But you'll already get a bottle of that. And then you'll also get our dish soap, our laundry soap, our, oh goodness, Christy.
The fruit and veggie soap.
The fruit and veggie soap. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Toothpaste?
We already talked about the toothpaste. Okay, so
We do this every time. I
I
forget which one
know.
we mean.
We have them written down. We just don't have them in front of us. So the laundry soap, the dish soap, the hand soap, the kitchen and bath scrub. That's the other
Yes.
one. Yes, that one's actually a newer product. That one came out last spring, Christy, for the
Yeah.
launch?
Yeah,
Also,
it was a year ago now.
yeah,
Mhm.
so mind y'all, if y'all are fairly new to Young Living, we have incredible product releases every single year. I haven't heard if we're doing a spring launch this year, but in June, every June we have a Young Living convention where they come out with a abundance of new products, awesome new blends. Like it's gonna be amazing. And we're even more excited this year because the last 2 years have been virtual and we're all going to Utah in June. And good Lord, y'all. It's so exciting. And first time to experience the lavender fields for me. So I'm a lavender field virgin right now. And I am so stoked. So if you ever want to take part in that, you definitely can let us know and we will totally get you in on this. It's gonna be so fun. We're gonna be posting all about it. It's gonna be great. So, all right. With that being said, if nobody has any other questions, I will go ahead and stop